Hey guys, it's Beth, and currently it is about 2:30 a.m. I believe, and I am like I'm so insomniatic. I was watching like creepy stalker story, Hannah Mojo's She's Queen. Yes. I was like, well, I have a stalker story, like let me share. This story is more considered like a bullying type thing, but it is kind of stalkerish if you ask me, and I'll tell you why in this story. So disclaimer, if you can hear the fan, I'm sorry, it's still hot as fuck. Like, I mean, I could turn it off, but like then I'd be sweating and like all of this would like cease to exist, you feel? Fan will stay on for a couple more videos. My story is in the past, is no longer a prevalent occurring issue, kind of like a one-time thing. Let's get started. A little bit of backstory on this. I was like never bullied until I moved to this area where I live right now, because I was like the only white kid who went to my school, so like of course I was different, and like since I was different, like you get picked out of the bunch to like get made fun of. So when I moved into this house that I live in now, there was a lot of kids who live around in this neighborhood. Well, there were a lot of kids. We're all grown up now, obviously. We were all friends, we all hung out, like it was fine. And I had a friend who had an older brother who's only like a year above us, so we all kind of hung out, and he was like oddly very mean to me all the time. I like never did anything to him, but he would like make fun of like the way I looked, make fun of my weight, even though I wasn't fat back then. This particular story takes place when I was in 7th grade, he was in 8th grade. One weekend I had like decided to like clean up my room, like throw away a bunch of stuff that I didn't need anymore that just kind of like followed us from our old house, and it was just like a bunch of boxes and stuff that like full of shit that I didn't need, and they were like little like shoe boxes. They weren't like big boxes, so like they could fit into trash bags, and I had like these big clear plastic trash bags, and like of course I like wrote shit on the boxes like this is like Beth's box, like don't open it, like, and then I would throw that shit away, but like you could see it because it was a clear bag. Skip to the next morning. I helped my mom throw all this stuff out because it was trash day. Like I helped her throw it all out to like where we put the trash so that the trash man could come pick it up. So I go about my day and I like get to school. School's fine, like, and then this is like when we're coming home from school. We both ride the bus because we both live in the same neighborhood, so we're riding the bus, and I'm sitting in my usual seat, which is like the fourth seat from the back, right behind the emergency door, on the left side, like my assigned seat. Like I assigned myself that seat. I sat there every day and no one else was allowed to sit there but me. So I was sitting in my seat listening to music on my little pod nano. As I'm like sitting, like I hear, we'll call him Matt. So Matt is like making a sly comment, and I'll clap back and I'll, bitch, like where? And then he like goes, oh, and then he like runs over to like where I'm sitting, and he says something about a diary that I used to have. And I was like really confused at first. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like what? I've never written in a diary before. Like I don't, like he just like kind of like laughs and then goes back to his seat, and then all throughout the bus ride he's like saying like different things that were written in this diary that apparently was mine. And I'm like, holy shit, this is from like a diary from like when I was like 1st grade. Like I wrote this about like the first boy I ever had a crush on in 1st grade. Like that's who this is about. And the person whose name it is that I'm talking about, there's another boy who lives in our neighborhood who has the same name, and he's kind of an ass. I don't really know him that well, and they all think it's about him. So I'm like, oh my god. So like he's like on the bus as well, and he's like listening to all this, and he's like laughing at me like in my face, and I'm like, I don't understand, like this is not about you. Like I don't even remember writing all this shit. I just remember I knew this kid in like 1st grade. When we get off the bus, I like am like speed walking to my house, like down the street like I normally do, and they're following me and they're like shouting at me and they're like doing all this shit, and I get to the trash bags. One of the bags is ripped open, and the box that said this is Beth's box, do not open, is open, and like all the stuff that was in it is like all over the grass. And I'm like, oh my god, like did this bitch like literally dig through my garbage? And I'm just like so freaked out, and I'm like, I can't believe this person actually dug through my garbage. Like, this is not funny. That's fucking creepy. Like, if you asked him, like, he would, like, say, oh, that's not stalkerish. But that's stalkerish. Like, going through my trash? Fucking insane. Ew. Gross. And so he's like shouting, like he's at his house comes before mine. So I'm over in the grass and I'm just like looking at my stuff, and then he's like shouting like and like yelling like to all of his friends, like, guys, I'm gonna bring the book tomorrow like to school, like everyone get ready, like it's gonna be so funny. And so skip to the next morning. I'm like moping around, like not wanting to go to school because I'm like, oh, he's gonna bring this diary to school and everyone's gonna laugh at me and like all this shit. I'm not gonna have any more friends. My mom's like, hey, have you made your lunch yet? And I'm like, no. And she's like, oh my god, stop with the attitude, like go make your lunch. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like opening the bread. I take out 2 slices of bread, close the bread, and I start sobbing. And I'm like, and my mom's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, talk. So she's like, calm down, like tell me what's happening. And I told her everything that happened the previous day, and she was like, oh, okay. And she like tries her best to help, but like it doesn't really work out. But then so she's like, she still makes me go to school, but like since I'm crying and like sobbing and stuff, she's not making me ride the bus, she's gonna drive me to school. So I get to school, I'm late, and like, yep, I didn't hear anything about this stupid diary. I didn't see, like, I never like heard from it again. I never talked to Matt again. Like, he never was a thing ever. Like, this was the last interaction we ever had with each other. I still see him around sometimes like years later, and like I don't know what he does, but like I see him and it's like awkward whenever I see him because I'm like, I don't like you, like kind of ruined my life. And I was no longer friends with any of the kids in the neighborhood. Like, I just stopped hanging out with everyone, like, and that's that. So yeah, like, that was my stalker story. Like, I don't think he would consider that stalking, but if you're like digging through my trash to like find things to like harass me with, that's stalking. That's stalking, and that's like really scary. Like, but this was a long time ago. Like, I don't talk to him anymore. Like, he doesn't bother me. It's like fine. And yeah, so if you like this video, be sure to click the like button, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!